There's so much noise and controversy on social media regarding a meme that President Trump released highlighting the Obamas as apes. And my first thought and question was, you would only be offended if you actually believe that you're an ape. Okay, so if you're black, if you're African American, you would be highly offended if you actually believe that you're an ape, that you're substandard in some regard, that you're less than in some regard. If at the heart of who you are, that's what you actually believe, that meme would be highly offensive. Now I understand the historical perspective of the African American. I understand the painful history. I understand how the African American identity was severely wounded throughout history, throughout the history of slavery. I do understand that. But as the church in America, as the black church in America, we need to open our eyes of understanding. We need to wake up and stop falling for the gimmicks of the enemy, okay? Let me remind us that the cultural war that we're warring against is not one of flesh and blood. It's against principalities, powers, rulers of darkness in heavenly places. Let's be reminded of that every single day. You know why? Because every day, every week, especially in this season, the enemy is going to have an agenda. He's going to pull a scheme. He's going to pull a stunt. As a Christian, are you really going to tell me that you're going to fall prey to every single plan, scheme, and gimmick of the enemy? Because if that's the case, okay, the enemy has you right in the palm of his hand, okay? Would you be the Christian that understands that the enemy has an agenda against you, first of all, against your family, against your community, and against this nation? Every day that we wake up, the enemy has a plot against us. And yet here we are as black Christians, okay? Any Christian really, but especially regarding this issue on the memes, okay, about the Obamas. As black Christians, we need to wake up, okay? Another thought that struck me was, as African Americans, we have not healed, okay? Okay, as an African American, as one that is of black descent, okay? Every time that I feel triggered by any racial controversy or debate or narrative in our culture right now, okay? Am I going to continually become offended, okay? And fall prey right in the enemy's agenda, okay? Right in the palm of his hand. So instead of being in the palm of God's hand, I'm now in the palm of the enemy's hand. And he knows exactly how to trigger me, okay? As a black American, as an African American, he'll continue to poke at the racial issue. You know when we're going to know that we're healed as a people, okay? That African Americans are healed of their history is when anybody pokes at the racial issue and you keep going, okay? You keep walking in God's plan, okay? God has a personal plan for you individually, okay? But it will continue to be limited. It will continue to be hindered. There will continue to be a blockade by the enemy until, as black people, as African Americans, we're healed of our identity, okay? Where we know like we know because we're healed that we're not substandard, okay? We are not apes. No, we are not. I don't care who says it. We are not apes. We're not substandard people, okay? So what I believe we need to do, okay, as black people, as African Americans, anybody of African ancestry of any regard. Anytime that we feel triggered through conversation, through debate, through cultural wars like one that we're having right now, okay, let's go back to our Heavenly Father, okay, and take up these issues with Him, okay? Not flesh and blood, not Donald Trump, not your white neighbors, not your white co-workers, not even any supporter of the Republican Party. Okay, anytime that we feel triggered, we need to take these wounds that are being triggered, these identity wounds that are being triggered, take them back to our Heavenly Father who knows why exactly we're being triggered. Okay, what is it that is still hurting? What is that wound that should have been healed by now? Okay, ask the Lord to define the wound. Ask the Lord to locate the wound. You know, prior to this this controversy that happened yesterday, still happening today, regarding these ape memes, okay, Donald Trump made an announcement, a huge announcement, okay, at the prayer breakfast, that on May 17th of 2026, America was going to be, or is going to be rather, rededicated back to God, back to one nation under God. Do you see, I'm speaking to my fellow believers, do you see God's plan for America's restoration being unfolded right before your eyes? Okay, do you also see the enemy's plan being unfolded with God? Unified nation under God. Okay, and the enemy comes right back the next day with his plan and says, oh no, we're not about to be united. And he brings up this racial controversy that we have right now. Do you see clearly what the enemy's plan is? Do we now understand that it's not against flesh and blood, that it's not against Donald Trump, that it's not against white people? It is against you. It is against your identity. It is against your inheritance. God has an inheritance for African Americans in this nation, but you will not step into this inheritance until every racial wound is healed, okay? That racial wound can only be healed and restored back to your proper identity. Be honest, be humble, and say, Lord, heal me. I'm still hurting. This wound is still being triggered. I don't know why, with all that you have blessed me with in this nation, with the way that you have blessed my generation, my family, I'm still being triggered. Lord, why? Lord, heal me. Lord, locate me. Locate my people, okay? And reintegrate me back into the son and the daughter that you have created me to be for such a time as this. It does not matter at the end of the day if you and me are healed, if we're healed of these racial wounds, if we're healed identity issues, okay? It is because we're still dislocated, we're still wounded, okay, that we're being triggered. And I want to caution African Americans. America in 2026 will be restored to one nation under God, because this is God's plan, okay? Your wounds, your triggers, or anything that is bothering you about being one nation, and whatever else may be causing us to be divided, okay? The Lord is not going to wait for you, okay, to make up your mind to be one nation. The Lord in 2026 will go ahead with his plan to restore this nation to a nation of unity. One nation under God.